Listen to me. Money is not real. Money is a tool. Money is a current. And right now, in the economic climate of 2026, money is expensive. If you walk into a bank today, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and you ask for a small business loan to start your e-commerce brand, or to buy equipment for your consulting firm, or to scale your marketing, they are going to laugh at you. If you have been in business for less than 2 years, they will show you the door. The underwriting standards have tightened so aggressively that the little guy is effectively locked out of the vault. If you do manage to get approved for a standard business line of credit or an SBA loan, look at the terms. You are looking at 10%, 12%, maybe even 15% interest rates. They will ask for a lien on your house. They will ask for 5 years of tax returns. They will ask for a personal guarantee that puts your children's inheritance at risk. That is dumb debt. That is retail debt. That is debt for the uninformed consumer who thinks the bank is doing them a favor. The architects, the people who actually build wealth in this country, do not pay 12% interest. In fact, they do not pay interest at all. What if I told you that you could walk away with $100,000 in capital, available to deploy into your business today, at 0% interest for the next 18 months? What if I told you that you could borrow this money without showing a single tax return, without showing a profit and loss statement, without putting a lien on your personal residence? This is not a scam. This is not a hack. This is simply understanding the customer acquisition strategy of the largest financial institutions in the world and using it against them. My name is Conrad, and welcome to Wealth Architecture. Today, I am going to teach you the art of credit card stacking. I am going to show you how to execute an App-O-Rama, applying for multiple banks simultaneously to secure 6 figures of funding in a single afternoon. I am going to teach you how to liquidate that credit into cash so you can pay suppliers who don't accept Visa. And I am going to show you how to create a free money flywheel that allows you to scale your business to 7 figures without giving away equity to an investor or paying a cent in interest to a bank. If you are ready to stop begging for money and start commanding capital, smash that subscribe button. We are building a fortress here. And let me know in the comments, what is the highest limit credit card you currently have in your wallet? Is it $5,000? $10,000? $50,000? Put the number in the comments. I want to see where we are starting. Let's dismantle the banking system. First, we have to understand the why. Why would a bank give you money for free? Banks are not charities. Chase and Amex are not in the business of losing money. They are publicly traded titans. They offer 0% APR for 12, 15, or 18 months for one reason: customer acquisition cost, or CAC. They know that the hardest part of their business is getting a new client. The banking market is saturated. They are willing to loss lead, to lose money on you for a year, in the hopes that you will slip up. They are betting on your failure. They are betting that you are undisciplined. They are betting that you will rack up a $50,000 balance, fail to pay it off by month 18, and then, boom, the interest rate snaps to 24% or 29%. They make all their money back in 2 months of you paying interest. But you are not a consumer. You are an architect. You are disciplined. You are going to take their bait, eat the cheese, and walk out of the trap without getting snapped. This strategy relies on business credit cards. This is the most critical distinction you need to understand before we start. Do not, I repeat, do not try this with personal credit cards. If you stack $100,000 of debt on personal cards, your credit utilization ratio will skyrocket to 100%. Your personal FICO score will crash by 150 points. You will look toxic to lenders. You won't be able to refinance your house or buy a car. Business credit cards are different. With the exception of Capital One and Discover, most major business credit cards, Chase, Amex, Bank of America, US Bank, Citi, do not report your balance to your personal credit report. This is the veil, the corporate veil. You can have $50,000 sitting on a Chase Inc. Business Unlimited, and your personal credit report says, utilization, 0%. Your score stays at 800. The debt is invisible to the personal world. This allows you to leverage aggressively without destroying your personal financial reputation. So how do we get the 100,000? We stack. One card might give you $10,000 or $20,000. That's nice, but it's not life-changing. You can't scale a business on 10,000. But 4 cards? 5 cards? Now we are talking about $100,000 or $150,000. The problem is, if you apply for Card A on Monday, Card B on Tuesday, and Card C on Wednesday, by By the time you get to Wednesday, Card C will see the inquiries from Monday and Tuesday. They will say, "Whoa, this guy is desperate for credit. He is applying everywhere. Denied." This is why we execute the spree. We apply for everything in a tight window, usually 24 hours, to beat the reporting clock and minimize the hard inquiry damage. Before you open a single browser tab, you need to be fundable. You cannot do this with a 500 credit score. You cannot do this if you have a bankruptcy from 2 years ago. We are hacking the system, but we need a key to get in the door. Here are the prerequisites for the 100,000 stack. Number 1. Personal FICO score. You need a 700 plus, ideally 720 plus. The higher the better, but 700 is the floor. If you are at 680, fix your credit first. Watch my other videos on credit repair. Do not burn hard inquiries if you are going to get denied. Number 2. Utilization. Your current personal cards must be paid down. If your personal utilization is over 30%, pay it off before you apply. Banks want to lend to people who don't need money. If you look maxed out, you look risky. Get your utilization under 10% specifically for the 30 days before you execute this stack. Number 3. The entity. You need an LLC, limited liability company, and an EIN, employer identification number. Do not apply as a sole proprietor using your SSN. We want to build business credit, not personal credit. Getting an EIN takes 10 minutes on the IRS website, and it is free. Do not pay LegalZoom $300 to do it. Number 4. The Chase 524 status. This is the most famous rule in the game. Chase will automatically deny you for any card if you have opened 5 or more personal credit cards in the last 24 months. Chase has the best business cards in the world. We want Chase cards. If you are at 524 or higher, you cannot get Chase cards. You must wait until you drop to 424. If you meet these criteria, you are ready for the blueprint. Here is the golden sequence for 2026. We are going to target specific banks in a specific order to maximize approval odds. We are looking for 0% introductory APR on purchases. Slot 1. The Fortress, Chase. We always start with Chase. Why? Because they are the strictest, and they have the 524 rule. If you apply for other cards first, you might accidentally disqualify yourself from Chase. Chase has the Inc. family of cards. These are the gold standard. You are going to apply for the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited and the Chase Inc. Business Cash. Both of these cards usually offer 0% APR for 12 months. Both offer huge sign-up bonuses, often $750 or $900 cash back. Here is the trick. You can often apply for 2 Chase cards on the same day, and they will combine the hard pull into one inquiry on your credit report. This depends on the state you live in, but it works often enough that it is mandatory to try. Open one browser tab. Fill out the application for the Unlimited. Wait for the approval. If approved, immediately open a second tab and apply for the Cash. Chase is generous with limits if you have good personal credit. It is common to get $20,000 or $30,000 limits on these cards. So right out of the gate with just Chase, we might have $40,000 in funding. Slot 2. The relationship giant, Amex. American Express is the easiest lender in the business space. If you already have an Amex personal card, applying for a business card is often a soft pull, meaning it doesn't even impact your credit score until you accept the card. We are targeting the Amex Blue Business Plus. This is the holy grail card. 2x points on everything up to $50,000 spend, and usually 0% APR for 12 months. Amex limits can be massive. They base it on your spending history. $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 is standard. And because Amex often pulls Experian, while Chase often pulls Equifax or TransUnion depending on your state, they might not even see the Chase inquiry yet. We are hitting different data points. We are fighting a multi-front war. Slot 3. The conservative powerhouse, U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank has become aggressive in 2026. They want market share. We are looking at the U.S. Bank Business Triple Cash Rewards. This card is a sleeper. It often has a 15-month 0% APR offer. That gives you an extra quarter of runway. U.S. Bank is sensitive to inquiries, which is why we do them third. If they see the Chase inquiry, they might get nervous. But usually one recent inquiry is acceptable. If you tried to do this last, after applying for 5 other cards, U.S. Bank would deny you instantly. Slot 4. The wild card, Bank of America or Wells Fargo. If you have a banking relationship, a checking account, With Bank of America, go for the Business Advantage Unlimited Cash. If you bank with Wells Fargo, go for the Signify Business Cash. Relationship banking matters. If you have checking history, their internal liquidity score for you is high, and they will overlook the recent inquiries from the other banks. They trust you because they see your money. Let's do the math on the stack. Chase Inc. Unlimited, $15,000. Chase Inc. Cash, $15,000. Amex Blue Business Plus, $25,000. U.S. Bank Triple Cash, $15,000. Bank of America, $20,000. Total credit limit, $90,000. Total interest rate, 0%. Total cost of capital, 0. Most of these cards have no annual fee. You have just secured $90,000 of funding. If you went to the SBA, this would have taken 6 months, a business plan, 3 years of tax returns, and mountains of paperwork. You just did it in your underwear in 45 minutes. Now we move to Phase 2, liquidation. This is where people get stuck. This is where the amateur stops and the architect begins. They say, "Conrad, this is great, but I can't pay my Chinese manufacturer with a Chase card. They want a wire transfer. Conrad, I can't pay my contractor with Amex. He wants a check. Conrad, I can't pay my payroll with a Visa." Credit is useless if you can't spend it. We need to turn this plastic credit into liquid cash capability. We use payment intelligence platforms. The big players are Melio, Plastique, and Bill.com. Here is how it works. Let's say you need to buy $20,000 of inventory from a supplier in Vietnam. You sign up for Melio. You enter your supplier's bank account information for a wire/ACH or their physical address for a paper check. You select Pay with Credit Card as your funding source. You enter your new Chase Inc. Business Unlimited details. Melio charges your card $20,000 plus a fee. Melio takes that money and sends a wire transfer or a check to your supplier. Your supplier gets cash. They are happy. They don't even know you used a credit card. You have a $20,000 balance on your 0% card. You are happy. You have successfully turned plastic into cash. Now let's talk about the fee. These services charge a fee, usually around 2.9%. You might say, "Conrad, you said 0% interest. 2.9% is not zero." Listen to me. You need to learn the cost of capital math. The fee is a one-time transaction cost. It is not an interest rate, APR. If you borrow money from a bank at 12% interest for a year, you pay $2,400 on $20,000. If you use Plastique at a 2.9% fee, you pay $580. That is a massive difference. And that $580 is a tax-deductible business expense. It lowers your taxable income. Furthermore, remember the points. The Chase Inc. Unlimited gives you 1.5% cash back on every purchase. The Amex Blue Business Plus gives you 2x points, valued at roughly 3 to 4% if used for travel. So, let's run the numbers. You pay a 2.9% fee to Melio. You earn 2% back in rewards from Amex. Your effective cost of capital is 0.9%. You are borrowing money for less than 1%. In an inflation environment of 3%, the bank is literally paying you to take their money. This is negative interest rate arbitrage. It is the closest thing to free money that exists in the physical universe. Do not step over dollars to pick up pennies. Do not worry about the 2.9% fee when you are getting access to $100,000 of capital that can help you launch a $1 million business. Now let's talk about the flywheel, the strategy. You have the $90,000. You have the liquidation method. What do? You deploy this capital into ROI-positive activities. This is crucial. Do not use this money to buy a new desk chair. Do not use this money to buy a company car, unless you are doing Section 179, which is a different video. Do not use this money to pay yourself a salary. You use this money for things that turn $1 into $2. Inventory, advertising, Facebook, Google ads, hiring sales staff, buying equipment that produces revenue. Let's say you spend $50,000 on inventory. You sell that inventory over the next 6 months for $100,000. You have generated $50,000 in gross profit. During those 6 months, what were your payments to the credit card company? Minimum payments only, usually 1% or 2% of the balance. On $50,000, you are paying $500 to $1,000 a month. This is manageable cash flow. You keep the bulk of the cash in a high-yield savings account, HYSA. This is the double dip. You take the $50,000 you would have paid the bank and you put it in a business savings account earning 5% APY. So you are borrowing at 0% or 0.9% effective, and you are earning 5% on the cash while it sits there waiting to pay the bill. You are making money on the spread. This is what banks do. Now you are acting like the bank. But now, the warning. The ticking time bomb. 0% interest is not forever. It is for 12, 15, or 18 months. You absolutely must have a plan to pay this off before the promo period ends. Set a calendar alert. I call it the doomsday date. If your promo expires on December 1st, 2027, you need to pay that balance to zero on November 15th, 2027. If you have a $1 balance on December 2nd, the bank will charge you deferred interest on some cards, or just skyrocket your rate to 29.99% on the remaining balance. Do not let them win. The entire strategy relies on you being smarter than the average consumer. What if you can't pay it off? What if the inventory didn't sell fast enough? This is where balance transfers come in, or the Phase 2 application spree. If you are approaching the end of your 12 months with Chase, you execute a new stack. You apply for Barclays. You apply for Capital One. Careful with the personal reporting. You apply for a different Amex card. You get a new 0% card, and you use it to pay off the old one, via balance transfer or creative liquidation. You kick the can down the road. Real estate developers do this. Private equity firms do this. They are constantly refinancing debt. You are just doing it at the micro level with plastic. Let's go deeper into the data points. Banks are getting smarter. They look at velocity. If you apply for 10 cards in one day, you might trigger a fraud alert. They think your identity was stolen. So you need to be ready to pick up the phone. This is the reconsideration line strategy. If you get a pending or denial instant message on your screen, do not give up. The computer denied you. You need to talk to a human. Google Chase reconsideration line number. Call them. Say this script. Hi, I just applied for the Inc. cash to help separate my business expenses for my consulting firm. I noticed it was pending. I have excellent credit and I've been a loyal customer. Is there any more information you need to approve the application? Often they just need to verify it's you. They will send a text code to your phone. Or they might say, we can't give you more credit, you already have $50,000 with us on your other cards. You say, I understand. Can we move $10,000 of credit limit from my existing card to this new one so I can open the account? This is the credit shift. They will almost always say yes. Boom. You got the card approved. You got the 0% offer. You didn't get new credit limit, but you got the new terms. That is a win. A note on business income. On the application, they will ask for business revenue. If you are a startup, you might have $0 revenue. Do not lie. Do not say you make $1 million if you make zero. That is bank fraud. Bank fraud gets you federal prison. However, you can often use projected revenue if the bank allows, or simply be honest. I am a startup, revenue is $0, but I have personal income of $100,000 that supports the business. Many business cards are approved based on your personal income as the guarantor. That is why they ask for total gross income, personal, and business revenue separately. As long as your personal income is strong, they will lend to a startup with $0 revenue. They are underwriting you, not the business. Let's talk about the psychology of debt. This strategy is dangerous for the uninitiated. If you are a consumer at heart, you will see $100,000 available and you will think you are rich. You are not rich. You are in debt. You are in subsidized debt, but it is still debt. Every dollar you spend must have a return on investment. If you spend $5,000 on a mastermind course using this money, you better be sure that course will make you $10,000. If you spend $20,000 on branding, it better convert. The bank is giving you a rope. You can use it to pull yourself up the mountain, or you can use it to hang yourself. The architect uses the rope to build bridges. The consumer uses the rope to buy depreciating liabilities. And finally, the partner mode, two-player mode. If you have a spouse or a business partner, you can double this. You do a stack for you, $100,000. You do a stack for your partner, $100,000. Now you have $200,000 in 0% capital, and you can refer each other. Chase has refer a friend bonuses. If you refer your wife for the Inc. card, you get 20,000 or 40,000 points, worth $400 or $800. She gets the card. You are effectively printing money just for opening accounts. This is the flywheel. Points, cash, 0% interest, growth. Now let me address a specific detail. The MCC code. Merchant Category Code. When you liquidate cards using Plastique or Melio, sometimes the card issuer sees it as a cash advance. Cash advances are bad. They have high fees and no interest-free period. You must ensure that the transaction codes as a purchase. Usually, paying a vendor for professional services or inventory counts as a purchase. But paying yourself? Paying a loan? That can trigger a cash advance. Set your cash advance limit on your cards to $0 or the lowest possible amount, usually $100. Call the bank and say, "Please lower my cash advance limit to 0. Why? Because if a transaction tries to code as a cash advance and your limit is 0, the transaction will simply decline. It saves you from accidentally paying a huge fee. It is a safety switch. Let's talk about manufactured spending briefly. This is a gray area, but you need to know about it. Some people use these cards to buy things that can be easily turned back into cash, just to generate points or meet spending requirements. Buying gift cards, buying money orders. I do not recommend this for your main business cards. Banks hate it. Chase will shut you down if they catch you buying $10,000 of Visa gift cards at Staples every week. Stick to organic spending. Stick to real business expenses. Rent, inventory, ads, software, contractors. If you stick to real expenses, you are bulletproof. So here is your homework. 1. Check your credit report. Is your personal utilization under 10%? Is your score over 700? If not, fix it. 2. Incorporate your LLC. Get your EIN. It takes 15 minutes on the IRS website and it's free. Choose a generic name. Conrad Consulting LLC is better than Conrad's Real Estate Investment and High-Risk Crypto Trading LLC. Banks like boring names. 3. Plan your spree. Map out the cards. Chase first. Amex last. Know exactly which cards you are clicking on. 4. Execute. Open the tabs. Hit submit. 5. Call reconsideration if needed. Be polite but firm. Stop letting the banks use your money for free in your checking account where they pay you 0.01% and start using their money for free. This is how businesses are built in 2026, not with savings, with leverage. The wealthy do not use their own money. They use O.P.M, other people's money. You now have the blueprint to access O.P.M without asking permission from a loan officer in a cheap suit. If this video blew your mind, if you had no idea this was possible, share it with a business partner. And in the description, I have a list of the current best 0% offers for this month. The offers change, so check the link. We are not here to play small. We are here to architect wealth. I'm Conrad. Go get your funding. I'll see you in the next one.